Hey everybody, my name is Claire. This is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go to thrift stores, I go to estate sales and garage sales and anywhere I can go. And I look for things that make me happy and I take them back and find out as much as I can about them and I show you guys. So here's what I got for you today. It is this lovely little mug, cup, mug, whatever you want to call it. I hope the color shows up. You can see that it is very slightly greeny blue in the glaze, and it has this kind of classic Chinese pattern. You can see that you can see the two dragons, and then there's this kind of square kind of pattern. As far as I know, this represents clouds or some kind, in some way, or the sky, and then underneath you get these like waves. Hopefully you guys can see that. Now, get out the ruler. It is, here you go, like about 4 and a bit inches on the cup itself and a little bit extra for the handle. And it is about 3.5 inches high. It is a very, very nice little cup. Now, I'm going to show you as well, hopefully you'll be able to see the mark. And it is slightly smudged. You can see as well on the rim of the pottery here, like the actual rim here itself, like if it was very, very old, this would be a lot more worn. It would probably be a little bit more darkened, like because that's obviously that's not glazed. So, okay, so what exactly is this? Well, you can see this is this would have been like cobalt or blue, or, you know, kind of blueware. So it's like this pattern, whatever. I cannot quite tell whether it has been painted or printed on. And I would think the balance of probability is that it has been printed. I'm afraid you're gonna have to make that judgment. I think it is probably printed. It would be nice if it was painted, but it's been kind of smudged and everything at the top, so who knows really. Now the mark at the bottom, you can see it here. I do not read Chinese in any way. I'm limited to what I can figure out generally from things like Google Translate, and Google Translate has this really great option where you can just basically give it a photo and it'll try and figure out and see if it can detect Asian characters and then try and translate them for you. It generally does not work on pottery because it's too kind of stylized. And it didn't work in this case. I've had some luck before. You know, it can do basic things like if the characters are very clear, it'll translate things like, oh, this is these are the kanji for Japan, for example. It really did not work in this case. So what I did instead is that I went to the subreddit. If you go on reddit.com, it's got all of these different communities that do different things. And I went to the subreddit for translations, and I supplied a picture of the cup and a picture of the mark, and I said, can you tell me what does this say? Like it's on a piece of pottery, it's on this cup. I just want to know what it says. I'm not, you hear the stories about, Ming pottery and everything. And this being Vancouver and having such a large Asian population, it's not beyond the realms of possibility you're going to get rare Asian antiques. I don't think that's what this is. So the Reddit translators were kind enough to provide me with what this actually means. This is basically a set of symbols that says Longquan. And if you know your history or your Chinese ceramics, which by the way I don't really, Longquan was a very famous area in China for doing a particular style of like celadon glaze, and I have some pictures that I want to show you. Take a look at some here, and this is like Longquan ware, and I'm really sorry if I'm butchering that. I'm so bad at the pronunciation. I'm really trying. So what we think of celadon glaze, if you've seen pictures of it, it's like this very kind of pale blue, and the Longquan stuff is more of a green blue or a teal. And you can see that the color is kind of this very kind of distinctive kind of a shade. It's just that it got that little bit more green yellow or green gray rather than like the celadon blue that we think of. So celadon, like the Longquan ware, was produced up to about the 18th century. This is not that. just to be clear, real celadon ware from like the time period and whatever goes for hundreds of dollars. That's not this. It would be nice if it was. It's definitely not. This is a modern cup. This is from sometime in the 20th century. I would say that the oldest it could possibly be is vintage. So like maybe the 1960s or 1970s. I would guess it may be modern. It may be from like in the last 20 years. Not really sure. So the reason that it has this mark, this thing that says like Longquan, from what I understand, what it actually means is after the style of Longquan. So what it's saying is that here's a cup, it's got this nice design on it, and you can see the glaze is a little bit kind of, it's, you know, celadon is high quality, it's a little bit kind of green, grey, rather than, you know, your blue. And they're saying, hey, we did this in the style of Longquan. So that's what it is. This was probably a part of a set. Who knows where the set is? It's probably long gone. For $2 in a thrift store, I think it's just a delightful little, it's a delightful little cup. It looks like it would be perfect for tea. So I think it's just really lovely. And it's, you know, I just kind of like the dragons. They look like they're fighting. I'm sure that there's some symbology here, but honestly, I couldn't really figure anything out about it. So there you go. This is the dragon cup, Longquan-style ware. And this is my small joyful thing. I hope someday I will get to see like more stuff like this. I think that would be really cool. So in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.